Okay, Econ class, let's go back to some of these charts that we were talking about on this section of our notes. Going back to chapter 2, we said demand was not a willingness to buy, but the actual act of buying. And we said the law of demand, the lower the price, the more people will purchase it. The higher the price, the less people will purchase it. Demand is based on subjective value. Again, what that means is that everybody places a value on something, and a hammer might be more valuable to somebody in the carpentry business more than it would be a hairstylist. Although I'm sure that hairstylists would love to take a hammer to the side of someone's head as they complain all the time about their hairdos. But I wanted to talk to you about these charts. The first one is this demand schedule. So, as we've kind of done before, if you look here, a demand schedule would be this section in this area, okay? And so what you would do is you're saying the price of the Coke, I guess I should put that there, price of Coca-Cola, at McDonald's, and we said 75 cents, a dollar, $1.25, $1.50, $1.75, and $2. But then you also have the amount demanded. 6,000 would demand it, maybe like to say in the county of Genesee County, if you went to all the McDonald's at 75 cents, 6,000 Cokes were sold or demanded. $1, 5,000, $1.25, 4,000, $1.50, 3,000, $1.75, 2,000, and $2, you'd have 1,000. So what we've done here, this is the demand schedule, so you would just kind of etch this out. Now, is this an exact science? Not necessarily. I'm sure there are accountants that would put this all together in an exact way that they need to. But what you would do is you're just basically saying that as the law of demand is over here, let's go back over here, and we said that the lower the price, okay, let me slide this over again here. Maybe I won't be able to do that. Actually, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Sorry. But yeah, actually we can do it this way. So the lower the price, okay, low price, the more people will demand it. The higher the price, $2, the less people will demand it. And so that is itself the supply or the demand schedule. This is all demand. This is what people are wanting. So let's talk about the demand curve here. So what you would do is, in order to set this thing up, on your own piece of paper, you could do this. What you would do is you'd make like an XY axis, and here's the point 0 where everything's free and nobody wants it and it's not any cost. But what you would do is you'd have 1,000 people here, 2,000 people here, 3,000 people here, 4,000 people, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. I've added a little bit of a number. And what you do is you basically would just draw this out on a chart on an XY axis. And notice how we have at $2, 1,000 people wanted it. At 2,000, at $1.75, 2,000 people wanted it. At 3,000, we're just following this. $1.50, 3,000 people wanted it. At $1.25, 4,000 people wanted it, and so on and so forth. So notice, again, you have your cost over here and the amount demanded. This would be very similar to the charts on page 21, but what you would do is you notice this demand curve is going down, meaning the lower the actual product itself, the more people will want it. And that is kind of how you would do this. And you would just draw this out, and you could do this with any number. Again, we can change this chart, we can change it any way we want, but the basis of the principle is that the higher the cost, the less people want it. The lower the cost, the more people will want it. And as we said before, it is based on these ideas of why does demand change. A change in people's income, as we talked about normal goods before. A normal good is something that's name brand, Cheez-Its, Jif peanut butter, Honey Nut Cheerios. And inferior off-brand of those would be like Great Value peanut butter and cheese squares, or I think I use Honey Nut O's, whatever those would be. A change in price of related goods, again, as a price rises for one good, a substitute good becomes more popular. So for example, think of it like this. If all of a sudden the price of Coke goes up to this, then you know what people might want? Lemonade. And so then all of a sudden the price of lemonade changes, and that changes people's demand. And so want a substitute good. So Substitute good for Coke could be lemonade or Dr. Pepper. I guess it depends on how much of a substitute good you want to go with. Complementary goods: peanut butter and jelly, hot dogs and hot dog buns, fries and ketchup, milk and cereal. Those are complementary goods. They work together. And then we also said that a change in taste and preferences. Again, sometimes people just like better products. People want a new style comes out, and all of a sudden everybody clamors for it. Or a preference. Hey, this is really cool right now, so let's get into it. I think the example I used in a previous video was the fact that you had in Stranger Things comes out, and all of a sudden they start playing all this 80s music that you kids in your generation haven't really ever heard, and then therefore you kind of want to listen to it. And so therefore the demand for the music being played becomes higher. Or just a change in preferences, like what people want, like something that's really, really cool, like those hydro flasks. That is a change in preference and a change in taste. All of a sudden they become a super, super popular thing, and all of the Visco girls want the hydro flask. And so therefore a change in preference or taste. Change in expectations, as we said, all of a sudden you find out that, again, the world might be coming to an end, so you need to go and get all the toilet paper you can. So that's a change in expectations. Your expectations are that everyone's going to rush to get toilet paper, so what do? You rush to go get toilet paper. And then the easy way to change the demand, or the reason why demand changes, is the change in the price of an item. Again, if you look back at this chart, if Coke is $2 at McDonald's, then less people are going to want it. But if you lower that price and it's going to go to $6,000, then or lower its price to 75 cents, then more people are going to want it. Imagine if you keep going on this chart like we did, you go 50 cents, 7,000, and obviously you would get to the point where if it's 25 cents, this thing would be off the charts. And this is kind of how you look at this. So again, this is a demand curve, and that's how this would work. Okay? Hopefully that answers any questions you guys might have had.